Requirement 11.4.5 applies if you are using segmentation controls in order to reduce the scope of your assessment. Specifically, it calls out that we need to test the effectiveness of our segmentation controls at least once every 12 months. Now, for requirement 11.4.6, we have to do that at least every 6 months if you are a service provider. But other than that, 11.4.5 and 11.4.6 are the same requirement, just upping the frequency for service providers. The segmentation penetration tests also need to be performed after any change to segmentation controls. So, for instance, if you are using, a bastion host or a jump box, and you make a change to the SSH configuration on that jump box, then you need to validate the effectiveness of those controls again. Same thing if you are using network segmentation and a firewall in the middle, and you make a change to that firewall, then you also need to now validate the effectiveness of the segmentation controls, because it is after any change, not only after significant changes. That's an important distinction around segmentation controls. Okay, the testing for those segmentation controls also needs to cover all segmentation controls and methods that are in use. It also needs to be performed in accordance with your own penetration testing methodology. So take a look at requirement 11.4.1. And it also needs to, speak to the effectiveness and the operational efficiency of those segmentation controls that you are using, and directly whether or not the controls are effective at isolating the cardholder data environment from all other out-of-scope systems. Now, we do see this sometimes in penetration tests, especially when they're being performed by a company who's not really read up on the PCI requirements. And so, the penetration test may have spoken to those segmentation controls directly, but the report itself is deficient in how it's actually reporting. So do make sure that your penetration test reports, if they're being done by someone other than ourselves or someone who is well versed in PCI penetration testing, make sure that they speak directly to the effectiveness of segmentation controls. Otherwise, we won't be able to speak to this particular requirement. We also need to confirm the effectiveness of any isolation controls between differing security levels. Specifically refer back to requirement 2.2.3 for what we're talking about here. We're not going to talk about that at length in this particular video. And then finally, as with every other penetration testing endeavor, we need to ensure that that both the organizational independence as well as the qualifications of the person performing this particular segmentation control penetration test, that those also meet the PCI requirements.